Starting things off with WarningTrack banning Modern any 2 of 3, because WarningTrack, as we all know, is not a fan of balcony types.
Who is?
Varanas bans Hardtail Pub. Track bans Nuart Veranda 5 of 8. And Varanas opts not to take a second ban.
Yeah, we very rarely see those, and in most cases it's just more of a mental statement, like Votar simply bans nothing at all, while here Varanas chose to ban something and then went with nothing, so it's a bit interesting.
It is. Either
Perhaps
way,
there's...
WarningTrack picks up Ballroom 4 of 8. Varanas, Courtyard 2, 4 of 7. Very old school start. WarningTrack then picks up High Rise 4 of 8. And Varanas picks up Panop 5 of 8. It's going to be a fun set, I think.
Yeah, we have both new and old art, more big maps than small maps, but that should make it just more interesting. So we're starting off
the way I like it.
So we're starting with Ballroom menu 4 of 8 with Varanas as the spy.
All right, we're starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Varanas starting as a Seek, as usually chasing the seduction target. Starting to talk immediately. Nice start with the wide 34% flirt.
Best dressed man at the party. Except for debatably Blondo, except, like, is he really, though? He has a sash. Is that dressing well or dressing old?
I guess just dressing as of highest rank. So that's the fanciest because of that. I guess.
I suppose.
Fashion is weird. We're off to conversation with a double agent. Might not be a bad time for a banana bread, but it's getting worse, actually.
Yeah. Lots of movement. Still a ton of people in conversation, but whenever somebody steps in, somebody else steps out, and it doesn't look like Varanas is going to take it. It's been a very slow start from him, unfortunately.
But we do get a printable drink, and those are quite harder to track, and Toby's path was very good to offer to Varanas, and he did request, though.
I have been saying earlier in the night that getting early fingerprints can be invaluable on pretty much any map, and getting them not on the briefcase is always a plus. But that said, we only have 2 minutes left to play, and all we have is the 1 fingerprint and the 1 flirt, so this is maybe a bit too slow a start from Varanas.
Indeed, unless, I don't know, I don't think anyone's been going to statues that actively for, a very good frame or anything.
Indeed.
Do get a banana bread with only a couple lowlights, I believe?
Only the 1, actually. Almost got a second, but decided to bump back up to neutral. Green test on the second flirt, so we're up to 81%, but with only 1 minute and 20 left to play, Varanas is still very much behind the curve.
Indeed, you need to luck into the second print, then go full-on inspect on center statues, then finish up flirt.
And center statues, this is not. He's going here because of the fingerprint, which is a nice play because you can go statue to statue from here.
Indeed.
Either way, that's 2 inspects done. Looking for a third, but not going to get it. Track just feels like taking the shot before anything happens, and that is a very solid game of Sniper coming out of WarningTrack.
Indeed, I'm quite sort of impressed by that shot, because it was just the first statue visit, and can't really say that Varanas was doing that much.
Yeah, that is a very aggressive shot, I think, because he might have been tracking fingerprints, but even then...
It really did seem that he saw that first print of the drink.
The only other thing he did was side statue. He hadn't even gone statue to statue yet when the shot came off. It's an unusual shot to me, but it certainly worked out for him.
Yeah, it's one of those where I'm not sure if the sniper was a genius or just, one of those that KCM would scold me about. It's no reason to shoot there yet.
Yeah. Track says he was very much tracking the print, but even then, I think could have afforded to wait until he at least had statues done. Either way, it worked out for him as Track steps into the spy side of things. Varanas on the sniper of Ballroom, any 4 of 8.
And we're starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
And speaking of discussing who's the fanciest dressed man in the party, we are playing as the prince or the duke or the noir blonde or what have you.
He has a sash, he has a medal, he has a white bow tie. This man is clearly trying too hard.
Okay, you're starting off
Reverse
quite
drive-by bug from the back of a packed conversation, completely invisible. Track gets a bug off for free.
These kind of things is why I hate playing Ballroom. Because you just can't see that.
Kind of thing doesn't happen very often. Track just happened to be in the perfect position for it, and the ambassador obliged. Able to pick up 34% flirt before he steps away from the conversation, and he steps in to his center statue to pick up his inspects.
Does get a highlight for it, just nothing surprising. Oh, I almost thought seduction target would come next to us again.
Wouldn't that have been grand? But even with that routine highlight, this is a very strong start out of Track here.
Yeah, going immediately for potentially banana bread.
Oh, sure, now you go to the statues, you jerk.
Oh, it is the same statue, so we would have been blocked, in a sense. Yeah, don't think it's that good of a time for BB either.
Agreed. Track apparently agrees with you. Still have 2 minutes left to play, no reason to rush.
I would like some more progress on the flirt, but can't say it's a bad position to be in. It's still a decent progress. We can still finish in relatively reasonable time.
I agree with you, but unfortunately the seduction target has just not been obliging. Only now as he stepped back in the conversation, and we could BB and jump over there, but there are just too many people out of conversation.
Yeah, it's almost like flirt, then BB, and then chase flirt again. But just
that looks like the plan. It is a green flirt on the second with 1 minute left to play. 85%. We need 1 mission and 1 flirt. Swap is still on the table, but more importantly, so is contact.
And it seems that's what Track is going for right now. Definitely a good time now.
BB comes off on a solid green test.
Yeah, and just 1 hard lowlight, if I'm not mistaken.
Looks like Varanas is a little bit suspicious. Bit of a distance here, but it doesn't matter. 17% is the worst possible flirt, and even if that may have been a 17% flirt from the distance, he was already at 85, and that will be the game.
Yeah, and Track is up 2-0.
He is indeed.
I would have liked perhaps a little bit more active spy game, but it worked out very well, and it's just, I think if that second flirt would have been white instead of green, we might have been in a little bit of trouble.
Well, even then, like, he went to his second flirt pretty much as soon as he got the chance to. Seduction target was really not being cooperative.
Fair enough.
Either way, Track is up 2-0 as we step into Courtyard 2. Varanas starting things off on the spy side.
All right, we're starting this in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, a bit of a short stop when taking control. might be
Not the
noticed,
landing
but
in conversation we wanted, but we are next to the seduction target.
yeah, and we did get a green purloin.
That's a very interesting
Any other
decision off the top there. Fake BB to distract. 1 low light,
Yeah.
2, 3.
The
No,
sad
just
thing
the
is,
2.
Track noticed it was green because RST took, which is the best possible option for someone to take your purloin, but that is a low light. Track must have realized it was green.
Indeed. Lots of suspicion on Varanas, I think. I don't think Track had a lot on his plate there, so I think Varanas was causing enough of a ruckus that Track wasn't certain, but he doesn't stay uncertain for long. Just able to take the shot off of pretty much the purloin alone, I think, and now it's 3-0.
Yeah, I guess Track did see the purloin right away and just wanted to play around a little, or just took a little bit of time to convince himself that there's no other option, that was the purloin and the spy.
Purloins are always a very risky proposition on Courtyard 2, but I guess sometimes you gotta do it just to keep the sniper honest, and well, WarningTrack hasn't had time to stop being honest about it, so he does manage to get the shot off for 3-0 lead as he steps into the spy side of Courtyard 2.
Alright, let's find out how he does in 3, 2, 1, go.
WarningTrack playing as the penguin who usually gets picked as an ambassador.
Lots of best dressed at the parties going on. Okay! Track, what were we saying about the purloin?
Yeah, I mean, he just shot Varanas for it, and he figured he would not be returned the same favor.
Well, it's 3-1.
I guess nothing else left to say but to move on to the next game.
Might have given something away there, but we are on to high rise. Varanas manages to split Courtyard 2 and keep himself in this match. As he steps on the spy side of high rise, any 5 of 8.
Starting this in 3. Oh,
Sorry, 4 of 8. My apologies.
Alright, we're starting it in 3, 2, 1, go.
Varanas has the good RNG gods worshipping, which means that the other twin is not our SDA, but simply a civilian.
But obviously we're playing as the more suspicious of the twins, the Bling twin. Picks up his first flirt for 34% and is offered a don't purloin, thank you.
Not again.
Exactly.
It might be a... No, it's still a questionable BB on a high rise, even 3 low lights is a bit too many.
Especially so early in the game.
Indeed.
So is just going to start with his flirt and leave it at that. Has a possible bug path coming out of here. Just has to wait until Track is distracted with something else. If he wants to take it.
It does seem Track would be on it quite a bit, though.
That's why we wait till he's distracted. There's no one in his personal space. We've got a bit of time on our hands.
And
but
we
it doesn't
do have
look
a very
like...
good chance. Sorry.
Yep, doesn't look like Track is stepping away. So we're going to do a banana bread and then maybe use that as cover. But no, decides not to play for the bug on the heels of it.
We are in the path of a printable drink. Well, not anymore.
And Track did get 3, not only 3 lowlights, but 2 of them were highlights at the time. Second flirt comes off up to 61%, which is suboptimal.
Yeah, that's not a percent you want to see, especially so late in the game. Yeah, with the timer being at 3 minutes, it feels like you have to rush this game if you want to complete missions.
Well, he does pick up his first fingerprint and then steps into center statue, so He's going to be moving relatively quickly from here on out. This is even fingerprint, luckily enough, so you should be able to get 2 missions done in one fell swoop here, assuming Miss White is kind, and she
And
is.
assuming we don't recycle.
And the
even
green
getting
swap as well, but stayed for too long, and the shot comes off. Track is on it like a hawk, and now it's 4-1, and Varanas is on the ropes.
Indeed, and that might be the next game. Might be the match point. I believe the idiom is. Or the term.
This is match point. 3 match points here for WarningTrack. If he wins this, it's GG because he's up 4-1. Let's see what Track can do on the spy side of High Rise, any 4 of 8.
All right, we're going to be starting this one in 3, 2, 1, go.
Track started as one of the 3 top best dressed men in the party, so we have seen them all now.
Just doing the rounds of the best dressed men. Track this time playing Smallman, who is suspicious because who is as suspicious as he is small.
One could say that no matter what game style they actually have, they will have the great style.
Either way, starting things off with a 51% flirt at the window, which is a very nice start for good Sir Track. Let's see how he plays with it from now. As he steps in for his second, might be able to 2-flirt right off the top.
Yeah, but we do have the SDA.
And he does!
Wow, nicely done. All the sun. No. It's quite some sunshine.
Very solid start coming out of Track. Still has 2 minutes left to play. Plenty of time. Let's see where he goes next.
Yeah, I would like to see some progress for other missions. At this point, you have to have started something else.
Minute and 30 seconds left to play. He's spending a lot of time just eyeing up the party, trying to decide where his next move is. Could go to statues for a fingerprint and a pair of inspects. Could go for the briefcase first to maybe get 2 fingerprints off, but no, he's just going to fake banana bread. Isn't this interesting? Let's off 2 low lights. And uses it as cover for a green purloin, but even then, a little bit low on time. Has a beautiful bug path, decides not to take it though. Purloin comes off, and still gets the shot! Varanas keeping himself in the game with a beautiful track on the purloin.
Beautiful WarningTrack.
No. Just no.
You know you laughed. You had to cut your mic for that.
Okay, so hashtag comebacks are real.
Turn off my microphone. Like if I do this, do you hear that, or is it just me?
That must be just you.
Okay, that's fair. Too used to TeamSpeak, I guess. Either way, jumping into Panop next. Varanas is still down 2-4. Needs a sweep here on Panop, any 5 of 8 to send things into overtime, and he's starting things off on the spy side.
All right, we're going to be starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, look, it's Orange Dress. Good.
Indeed. But we're not Scallions, and Track is not Elvis, so we're safe for a little while.
Yeah, Track makes a point of not getting caught in the character choice shenanigans as Varanas sets up for his first flirt. It's not going to be a perfect one. In fact, it is a green for 34%.
Indeed. Not that anyone would really track early flirt on Panam, though, but it's still nice to see you can do this thing. By the way, we did green timeout in the very beginning.
I completely missed that. That is awesome. Well done, Varanas. I like your gumption.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost you have to go risk a bit. On one hand, you want to play safely to get a win. On the other hand, you don't have that much to lose.
And on Panop, this is just a perfect opportunity to let your opponent build up an unreasonable amount of suspects.
Indeed.
More people your opponent is looking at, the less likely they are to be looking at you. Flirtation cooldown has expired, picking up the second. White test, 58% now. How big would it have been if he was right next to his seduction? This could have been 85 instead of 58.
Indeed. He does need to do something else now, I would say. Don't stay that con, especially, I mean, it's Panop. There's no need to time or flirt.
He's still got his time ad to run down. I think he's just making sure he takes the time he's given himself, making sure he's not doing anything that could get him highlit. I don't mind it.
I just always think doing things in the end of the game is more suspicious, because Sniper is sort of more looking for it than an early beginning. So
I agree, but there are trade-offs. 93% off of another
must
green
hurt.
test. Varanas, this is a little bit painful. And now that we're only at 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, I think we really do have to get moving.
Or we can always time out once again.
That is true.
Yeah, he really needs to do something.
A bug into flirt, maybe?
Perhaps. Yeah, that would be a nice one. Then
He's
you
not
can
even looking in that direction, though. Now he is. Might be thinking about it. Certainly has the time for it. WarningTrack keeps stepping away the other side, but now the seduction target has... Oh, look, he's come right back again. And we get a...
And we're green purloin.
Green purloin while we're waiting, but we do want to get out of here. Well, Body Double has decided to take the drink. So the purloin has come off, and there's a bad shot coming off from what I assume is hallucinated microfilm or swap or something along those lines. I don't know. It was weird. That's an unusual shot from Track. But I guess
it was his second statues.
Yeah. I guess the strategy Varanas had of early time ad and then just stand around doing nothing wound up working quite well.
Yeah, I guess Track just missed Orange Dress rejecting, and White Suit was there for a lot of the time of the game in the same conversation. So he could have rejected in that order, and it was his second statue, so I guess that was the...
Well, that'll do it. Sometimes the party is kind, and now Varanas is one win away from forcing an overtime from 4-1 down. Let's see if he can do it on the sniper side of Panopticon.
All right, we're starting this in 3, 2, 1, go.
Certainly chasing his ST. And can't even go for the flirt. If there's one person who absolutely despises third at statue, it's Track.
Well, he's not the only one, but I think Voter despises it even more, but that's up for some later discussion. Yeah, definitely an important game for both of the players. Win or possibility to get a win on the other side. Not purloining this time, luckily.
It took him a while to pick up his first flirt, but it was a green for 51.
And at Windows, so you're not really that high suspicion, I guess.
Well, it's a pan-up. You're not a high suspicion for it anyways.
Fair enough.
Stepping in to yellow bookcase, looking to pull a book out, likely for some transfer shenanigans, to step away with it, likely looking to track down his ST for the next flirt. Not going to be able to get a 2 flirt, though, with the positioning of the folks around him. It was a white test anyways.
Yeah, 80% still a good percent, especially with 2 minutes 40 left on the clock.
Yeah.
And we are close enough to the red bookies that we might get away with a direct transfer. I guess that is the plan.
That is the plan indeed. Still 2 minutes and 30 to play, so Track has time. Good progress on 2 missions. So we'll see if he decides to cash in here. No, looks like he's not. Looks like he's taking it all the way back to Windows for a watch check. It's not what I was going to say, but it's what wound up happening.
Thought he would get it to the blue then? I don't know.
Yeah. Finishes up his flirt, is in a good position to go put this book away. I like the idea of interposing a time ad in there because he knew he was taking a bit more than he had.
Indeed. Might get a try-buy buck on the way out? But Varanas seems to be quite on it, so perhaps not that good of an idea after all.
Certainly had the opportunity for it, but knew it was being guarded. I'm surprised he's taken so long before putting this book away.
Yeah, or I would have liked to get a BB and then, use that chaos to return it somewhere else.
I think he has to start idling now. 2 minutes left on the spy clock, and this will be his second completion out of a necessary 5.
Indeed.
It does go away clean as he steps into center statue. This should be the 3rd.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, inspect swap is not really a good idea.
Does take a routine statue highlight, but I don't think it's anything more than a routine statue highlight. 3 missions done, 2 still to go. Likely both have to be hardtails, though.
Well, banana bread is definitely an option, so I would not say that they have to be hardtails. But yeah, it's definitely too late for a fingerprint.
For some reason, I thought BB had already happened. That's my bad.
No worries.
Although the double agent is certainly not cooperating.
Yeah, he seems to be walking around quite a lot. We were in con over this. Yay.
Banana bread.
Fake banana bread
comes off. I think WarningTrack is starting to realize that the game is slipping away from him and the double agent is being a jerk, so...
Yeah, he just tries to induce a shot.
Not necessarily a bad idea. Might try to swap and run here, but since he's caught at the statue, that's seeming less and less likely. Does just straight up white swap. Might be pretending it's green, but that's risky as heck. The shot just comes right on off. There was no one there before him. And suddenly, from a 4-1 deficit, Varanas has managed to take it to overtime.
Indeed, so, it's still at least a partial comeback, I would say. Whoever wins, Varanas still did a partial comeback, so...
Oh, this is a comeback. Like, whatever happens now, that's a comeback. Either way, since Track was the last one on the spy, he's the one who gets to pick the game type, and he picks an old standard ballroom 4 of 8. Varanas decides to snipe.
I don't know, perhaps it's just me, but I would probably even choose to spy on this one. Just because of so much chaos and so many people walking around and so many good opportunities for a hit and bug, I would be too paranoid as a sniper, I think.
I think you are well in the minority there.
Okay. Let's
good, sir.
Cameraman?
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Sorry, I thought you guys were still discussing.
That is just fine.
WarningTrack starting as Oprah. Missing the temptation for immediate Purloin, I guess, because Varanas' laser was pretty much on that spot. RC is nice.
Luckily, section target is quite kind and steps in to give us a flirt, although it did wind up being in position for 29%, which is not great. It does step out pick up a banana bread and step back in for a better flirt this time around, although it does need one of the next two to be green.
I'm not sure if I like that, but because it's so early in the game, I guess it's not that noticeable as it would be in late game.
Only gives off one low light, though.
Yeah, that's nice. We have not gotten a second flirt yet, which is...
Well, the timer hasn't run out yet. Just now it has as she steps away. Unfortunately, the position we were in when we went for the BB was still basically right next to the seduction target. If she steps right back in again, okay, good. That would have been a little bit too convenient, I think. Pretty decent briefcase cancel as Track steps away into an empty conversation, but this is looking a little bit worrisome as far as his timer is concerned. Only 2 minutes left to play. One flirt, not necessarily in position for a 3 flirt either, as he steps into center statue.
Yeah, getting the statue highlight. Center is just...
Usually you'd like... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I can't say it's late statues enough to shoot, but it's late enough to be started to, being looked at and tracked.
Well, the main problem is he wasn't able to get a whole lot done before acquiring his highlight. Just the banana bread, really. So picks up his second flirt and does luckily hit that green. That could be very key as he steps forward, but is still going to need to find a hardtail. Is not going to be able to get a fingerprint done with 1 minute left to play, I don't think. And if he does, it may as well be a hardtail.
Indeed, or we could get like a cheeky microfilm and then finish a flirt.
These things are so much easier to do when you're not highlit. 40 seconds left to play, looking for this last flirt, and does get it, but now with 35 left on the clock, we need to find a hardtail, and fast. Might be able to get it off the ambassador right here, but it's going to be a weird path in if he goes for it.
Or waiting for the last seconds to get a swap, or getting a green
It's gonna be
purloin.
a green purloin. It's a good map for it because of the low sniper angle, especially on the green test. Toby has stepped away from the conversation entirely, but we do not get a reject chain. Wheels just takes. Can he see it? 5 seconds. I don't think he knows, but he does see the list is gone. Shoots Wheels instead of Track, and now Track has been able to pick up his first win in a little while and finds himself on the advantage in overtime. Varanas fighting for a draw.
Yeah, there's that 1 point Track needed about 3 games ago.
Yeah, no kidding. He gets a little bit late, might be able to pick up a win here as we step in to balcony.
Balcony, yeah.
All right, and let's find out in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, we do have the orange dress in balcony, but she's the ambassador, unfortunately.
Not perfect positioning in conversation. We're in the back corner, which is nice for potential bugs, but unfortunately, seduction target is not in a great position comparative to us. Early BP on the green test, though, is very nice to see.
And
28% flirt, less so.
Yeah, Double Agent does get a low light, I think, for starting to talk immediately after BB.
Look at this. Early step away, picks up briefcase for the return. This is a very solid start from Varanas, I think. Not the usual spy play. Usually spies will wait a little bit longer before their first leave, and now he's at 79% on the flirt with the green test with a minute left to play and the ST spailing. This is looking strong for him.
Yeah, we pretty much can just stay there, do nothing until ST comes back.
Party is lined up for him very nicely, and he's taken advantage so far. The last top comes off. Does WarningTrack get the shot off? It doesn't look like he will. And as the timer ticks down, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a draw.
And a comeback.
And a comeback. Always solid to see. That was a pretty strong set of games from both players, I think. WarningTrack played an incredible start and just generally was a top-notch sniper, but near the end, the spy games were really getting away from him.
Indeed, and now we're moving on to